Hello, and welcome to today's workout, which is going to be an upper body. It's going to be a full-on workout. It's got a fun format that I enjoy. So we're going to do both arms together, and then we're going to do the left arm, we're going to do the right arm, and then we're going to do it together again. So it's going to be 4 times for each exercise. And so we're really going to blast those muscles by the end of that session. So let's go ahead and get warmed up, and we'll continue discussing it as we do so. So we're just going to start off with our arm swings. We are going to be working various muscle groups in the upper body, not just the arms. There's going to be a bit of upper back as well, shoulders for sure. We've got our biceps. We don't have as much of the triceps for sure, but the rest we do have. I should have included the triceps, now I come to think of it, but it's okay, we'll work them another day. So we're going to stretch up and then down. Let's just do arm circles back, and then we'll switch it to the forward. Because it is together, left, right, together, it does mean that you're going to need dumbbells or ideally dumbbells or separate weights so that you can do these with one weight in each hand, so that you can do the whole together, left, right, together thing. But if you do not, then I don't know how you can make it work, honestly. So maybe just switch to a different video that I've got. I've got other upper body ones that don't have the same format if needed. But yeah, this one is probably going to need dumbbells, really, so that you can do this effectively. So let's just quickly stretch over and stretch over again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do some shoulder presses. So I'm going to grab a lightweight. These are my 2.5 kg, which we're going to use for some flies. And we're just going to do some shoulder presses with them. So this is just to activate all those muscles before we get cracking into using them full on. I'm not going super heavy for today's set. That means that, for example, for the rows, where I tend to go a little heavier, I might feel like it's not as, so we're going to do some curls as well. I might feel like it's not doing as much, but that's okay. I prefer to, I know that I'm going to feel it by the time we get to the end of that session. But I just really don't want to switch over the weights partway through the workout. So we're going to work with what we've got. And then let's just do some flies. Just do some standing flies for now. We have some different varieties. So basically the setup for today, we have 2 rounds, essentially, where you can totally do a water break in between. I'm personally not going to, partly because my water is out in the house, so I don't have any water. But we're going to get started. So yeah, the setup is curls. So like working the biceps on curls, then some press, and then row, and then flies. And then we're going to go back to curls, press, rows, flies. That's going to be the setup. So I'm going to get the timer started. I'll just show you quickly the weights that I'm using. So I've got about 5 kg plus the bar. I should really weigh the bar so that I know how much it is. But I think it's 7.5. I'm not sure. So it's at least 10 kg. So maybe like 20 pounds. I don't know, maybe less. I'm not sure. But that's just a ballpark idea, so you can see this is not as heavy. I'm going to really struggle with some of them. For the flies, I'm going with the weights I just used in that warm up. But the rest, these ones, it's gonna really burn with some of the exercises, and then some of them I'm gonna be like, I probably could go a little heavier, but that's fine. So let me get the timer set up and let's crack on with it. Okay, so we're gonna get started with some bicep curls. So this is the twisty one, as I've said before. So that means you're gonna twist your arms into it as you're doing it. So we're doing together to begin with. Really make sure you stabilize your core. That's going to be especially when you're doing single arm movements. You're going to really want to make sure that your core is stabilized. Okay. Yeah, 15-second break. So it's 30 seconds on, 15-second break. I'm going to pop that down. Then I'm going to do the left. 0. So just doing the left arm for now. So make sure, as I said before, stabilize with your core, because when you're doing a single arm movement, you are really gonna you're gonna feel it on one side, and then your body is gonna want to slant to that side or counterbalance it with the other side. So make sure to keep yourself stable and everything. Sorry, my husband was trying to come in and he's got a meeting going on and it's really loud. It's just, bro, just go, please. So next up we have our right arm. Next, obviously, as you're looking at me, it's not going to be a mirror reflection. You're going to do the right arm. Apparently, like, guys are better at like seeing that thing, whereas like girls, we tend to just do the mirror, and then like guys tend to do like the same, if that makes sense. Anyways, we're gonna do them together. Maybe you did see my husband at the end of the last video that we did, the dance and cardio workout. Hope you enjoyed that one. Let's go together. So yeah, that's he wanted to come and interrupt. Totally disrupted my train of thought. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the dance and the cardio. Do let me know what things you're enjoying, what things you want to see more of, what things you don't love as much, and I will see how much I can accommodate them. Obviously, I have plans for what we want to be achieving with our body, and I really want a full body. Everything is working effectively. We're going to do Arnold press next. So you start off hands facing towards, and then as you press up, you're rotating it away from you, like so. So here you're really going to need to stabilize with your core. If you need to do this sat down, you can totally do this sat down, and that's going to help reduce the work on your lower body and your core, because you're then just going to be using the upper body. You're going to really be focusing on that. So next up, we're going to do the left arm. Got a runaway weight. So let's just do the left arm. So here I really know I need to stabilize, because as soon as you're doing those overhead movements, you've seen it when I do functional training exercises and we work that deep core and we do things like marches or that overhead around the world, and oh man, my shoulders are interesting. But you really see how much you need to work that deep core for stabilization. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that's done. Now how to do the right arm because you have to balance it. I do think my left arm is a little weaker than my right arm. So hopefully this one doesn't burn as much. And then we have it together at the end of this. Oh, don't we love what we set up? If you do need to take a break at any point or reduce your weight that you're using, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. Make it work for you. If you need to take a nice water break, please do. I will tell you when we are halfway, in case you just want to have a nice little water break in between. Oh, see, that wasn't so terrible as my left arm. But we have to get balance. We need balance in our lives. Next up is together. Whew. Again. Oh, okay. I'm just spreading my legs a little bit more to help stabilize me. Oh, this is where the ugly face really comes out into its own. But if you're not getting that ugly face, I don't know if you're working quite enough. Don't let the form go down. Okay, thank God. Okay, next up we're doing bent over rows. These are not so bad, I don't mind these. And as I said before, probably not going as heavy as I could with these bent over rows. I'm gonna do it to the side, so I just touched my mic, hope it wasn't too bothersome. So here we're really focusing on putting that weight into our back pocket. That's how we want to think about it. So you're keeping that core engaged, nice sort of bent over hinge coming from our hips. And then the way that I make this harder and that you really want to be doing most of these exercises, as I said before, is to do a more athletic, powerful pull and then ease it away slowly. So you can try doing that. I'm going to do my left arm first. So focusing on putting it into our back pocket, stabilizing through those muscles down that left side. Really intensifies that feeling in just that arm. Really do feel it a lot more than when you're just doing that together alone. Okay, switch sides. A little break. If you need to like rest your hands, you can totally pop the weight down in between. Sometimes I just don't love putting it down, picking it up, so I just hold it. Okay, right arm. Let's go. Let's go. We can do hard things. You can do this. Think about those goals that you have, whatever goals they are. My husband, he started the gym again, and he was saying that going to the gym is a lot like life, And in fact, even our Christian walk, really, like you don't know why people are there. People can be there for all different reasons. And the best thing that you could do is to not judge yourself against anybody else. Because there's people there that want to be able to lift really heavy, but they don't really care about their physique. There are some people there that want to be slim, really slim and toned, There's some people there that just like need to build muscle, want to build weight, add weight. And so if you start comparing yourself to somebody else, then you're doing yourself a injustice. So we're going to do bent over flies. I'm going to leave the weights there, grab my smaller 2.5s, so like 5 pound in pounds. So, bent over flies. Yeah, so make sure when you're doing these things, I'm mainly saying things like the weights, so you can get an idea, you can get a sense of like what, like I'm challenging myself, you know, I'm not trying to stay stagnant with my progress. I really want to get progressive overload. Yeah, bent over rows. So we're done, we're just doing the left arm. So make sure to work at your pace. Know what is an improvement for you. I'm going to do this way so you can see that left arm coming up. You can note it down, the weights that you're using for different exercises. Maybe you go back to a video that you've done previously, and then you see which weights you used a few months ago for them, and you do it again a few months down the line, and you'll see maybe you can do it with a lot heavier weight, or maybe you had to take pauses, but then when you do it again, you don't have to take those pauses. So know what's an improvement for you. You know, always look on the bright side. Always judge yourself fairly. Give yourself positive mindsets. You know, oh, okay, this time I did this. But instead of beating yourself up about it, you say, oh, but next time I'm going to do better. You know, always think, oh, yeah, even though I did it like this, I know I'm going to do better next time. And this one is just making me stronger so that next time I'm going to be able to do it better. Don't look at yourself and put yourself down and think, oh no, I can't do this anymore. I've had some people that were doing these that said that they did some of the workouts, took them like a week to recover. And honestly, my glute workout the other day, it wasn't even glute workout, but it really did work your glutes. So together again, that one took me quite a few days to recover, to be honest. But you know, you sort of think about those things. Like if you're not taking along, like if you're not feeling it the next day, the chances are you can go heavier. You can push yourself a little bit harder. I would say the exception to that is particularly the lower impact. So especially like I say lower impact, even though it says high intensity, like the hits, the cardio, things like that. Typically, I don't find them as taxing because it's mainly working your heart. And so, yeah, hammer curls next. So straight up and down, and then curling it. Let me just turn to the side so you can see it like that. So really focusing on bringing your arms down and back, your shoulders down and back. Almost there. Whew. Good. We're going to do our left, and then we're going to do our right. Oh, that was halfway, by the way. When we crossed over from the bent over flies to the hammer curls, that was our halfway. So if you need to take a break, now would be a great time. So left arm only. Man, like, told you I went to a gym with a friend, like twice, and the first time, I don't think they were that impressed. Second time, they were like, okay, she's actually showing up. And then like last week, I was like, I woke up with a really sore back, and I was like, what's going on here? I like looked in the mirror at my back, and it was like muscle. I was like, whoa, like where did this come from? I was like muscles. I really want to grow my back, to be fair, to be stronger. So the bent over flies are really good at that. All of these with proper stabilization will help your back in some way. The shoulder presses will also be helping as well. But that day it was really nice because I wore a dress like straight after going to that. It was like a dress that showed my shoulders, and I had a nice pump going on. So the whole night I was like, yeah, look at this. So make sure to get those pictures, those selfies in afterwards with your pump. You see how your pump has improved over time. I definitely can see improvements. And now you're not gonna get bulky by lifting heavier weights. You're really just gonna tone up. And we're not going like heavy for like 2 reps and then stopping. Those kind of ones, you are going to tend to get a little bit bulkier. But it's primarily down to how you eat as well. If you're eating right, and honestly, you can't outrun a bad diet. No matter what your goals are, you can't outrun a bad diet. Military press next. So outwards, my hands are facing you. Then we're pressing up. This is like honestly one of my least favorite exercises, but we want to build those shoulders. So we got to do them. We got to do them. Does mean that I might not talk as much as we're doing it. Okay, left side only. The one arms are honestly going to be quite challenging for me, especially the stabilization factor. Like my body wants to really compensate because it finds it challenging. And so you really have to focus on keeping it at a more neutral position, focusing on just those arms, those shoulders. Oh, man, a drink will go a long way right now, unfortunately. Okay, let's go. You got this. Unfortunately, I don't know how possible that is. Oh my goodness. You see, I'm really pushing myself with these. do myself a little pep talk partway through as it wanted to fail. And I was like, I know I've got another one in there. Like it could do that. Just needed a pep talk. Okay. See, this one is not as bad. That's the reason you really have to make sure that you're doing both sides equally, because naturally in life, you're going to find yourself do certain exercises with one hand and one side that you're not going to do on the other side as much. Oh my goodness. We got this. Let's go. Okay, nice. Upright rows are next. So that's standing up, and we're going to row like this. We're going to work our shoulders and triceps, I guess. So upright rows. Maybe probably could have used a lighter weight, but we're in it with this, so we've got to see how far we can go with it. We're trying to pull that. Okay, there we go. That's better. With a better technique, we actually can do it a bit better. Pretend I had good technique the whole way. Trying to pull it up to the center. We used to do them a lot when I did rowing, because obviously any row motion is good when you do rowing, because obviously when you're rowing, you're gonna do a pull motion. It's kind of in the name, and so it's been a while since I've actually done them. I find people don't tend to include them in their workouts as much, but they are really good movements to be doing. So it's my encouragement to you to do some upright rows. They work slightly different muscles. I don't know if you read your Rhapsody today, but today's one is amazing, and you should totally go ahead and check it out. Today, Pastor was talking about. Okay, let's go. He was talking about how, when you understand the life that we've got as Christians, you're not limited by situations. You're not limited by different things that the world would tell you that you should be limited by. He was giving the example of Joshua and Caleb. Joshua was one of the only people in the Bible that was described as old. God described him as old. in fact. God himself described him as old. God, the author of creation, eternal God, described him as old. And that's not because God viewed him as old. It was because Joshua himself saw himself as old. I thought I fixed these settings on my laptop so it didn't do that again. Apparently did not. So it really matters how you view yourself. When I'm gonna, spin this in the context of exercise and what your body can do, but this applies to every aspect of our life. And that's what Pastor talks about, in your finances, in whatever it may be. Don't let the world limit you with its views. But, you look at Caleb. Okay, flies next. Caleb was just as old as Joshua, but did not see himself as old. When it came to him taking over upright flies, like this. When it took to him taking what belonged to him, he, at the age of 80, said, "Give me this mountain." There was giants in the land, and he said, "I'm going to take them." At the age of 80, he did not view himself as old. He said, "I'm as strong as I was when I left the land of Egypt." He said, "I can do this. I can take them." That was because he knew who was at work in him. And don't get me wrong, for sure, he must have still been strong in his body. He must have still been doing just as much as he was before, because otherwise he wouldn't go to war with an untrained body. That would be very unwise. Even though he knows the God of angel armies is on his side, but he still needs to be strong, and that's with how it is with God. No matter what that he can do, he still expects a certain level from us to put in the work. If we really believe that he can do things, it means that we act on that. So this is my encouragement to you, to think the right way. Don't think that you're too old for this. Don't think that I'm past it, my body can't do those things anymore. You may be looking at exercises that I do and you're like, "I can't do that." You'd be surprised. There are people out there that started very late in life at doing workouts and things, and they are going at it hard and they're doing incredible things with their body. So don't think that you're past it. Don't think, "I'm too fat for this. I'm too old for this. I'm too skinny for this. I can't do those things that you're doing." Don't ever limit yourself like that. God doesn't see you like that. I don't see you like that. So don't see yourself like that. Change your mindset. It's only you that can change your mindset. You have to decide in your mind, it is possible and I'm going to do it. So think like Caleb and read your Rhapsody, because there's so much more in there to get than just what I'm talking about with regards to your exercise and your body goals. There's so much more in there. It's so rich. So make sure to go ahead and read that for today. And maybe you are watching this back and you're not on today's one and you're like, "What's that article that she's on?" Just type in Rhapsody of Realities and then today's date. I can't remember what today's date is, but you'll see the posting date and then it will come up. So that is the end of that workout. I'm going to pop my weights down and shift these ones over. And let's just do a quick cool down. We're only standing up for this whole thing. And so we're just going to start off by pulling our arm across. So relax your shoulders as you do this and then pull it across. Oh, kind of touching my mic. I'm sorry. Really relax into it. That's how I feel that I can actually feel the stretch, is when I relax into it. You can also do some wrist rotations whilst you're here. We did a lot of rotational pushes and you're also just using your hands. So it's good to get that out of the way. release those joints so you can get the full movements that your body needs. And then we're going to do let's do a simple overhead stretch like this. So pull one arm in, you see it like this. You can also do it like this. I don't know if I can still have that range of motion anymore, but you can do that if you can. I don't know if I could actually do it. Maybe I could. If my mobility is not quite there anymore. I don't know, maybe I'd have to work up to it again. When I was younger, I could do it. Many things. When I was younger, I was able to do it. But as I said before, think like Caleb. Doesn't mean that it was only when you're younger that you're able to do it. Sometimes it just means that you need to practice it, believe that you can do it, get back into it. Try it, push yourself. Change your mentality. It's all in your head. So much of it is in your head. I talked about it before with the power of thoughts. So much of it is in your head. So much. You need to see it. What can you see? What can you see? Okay, next up, we're going to bend down and we're going to stretch across. So you're going to feel this all down your side, like that. And then I'm going to switch to the other side shortly. 3, 2, 1. Onto this side. Oh, it's really interesting. I actually don't know what the frame really looks like with me in it. So really, I'm hoping that you could see everything because I set up slightly differently to usual because I was like, it's just upper body. We don't really need to see the floor like that. So it means that you should be able to get a slightly better frame of the upper body instead of me just being so far away. And a lot of it is just going to push up. Stretch your arms back a little bit as you do this. And then we're going to bend down, flop, and hinge at the waist. Like that. Get a little leg stretch in there. Push yourself. Now, if I had a floor shot, I would totally do a child's pose. So just sitting back on your heels and stretching your arms out. That would be a really good one to do as well. Might do it afterwards, but I would encourage you to do it. It's always a nice break and then you can just relax. But that is all for today. Hopefully you can join us on Thursday. Thursday we have got a power plyos workout. So this is going to be cardio again. And this one, as it says, is power plyos. So a lot of the time we focus on one thing or another thing and we don't focus on everything that we need to focus on to be able to get all the benefits that we need to. And plyos are one of those amazing features that is going to build power and it's going to build strength and it's going to build that athleticism that is often needed in a lot of movements that maybe you didn't know. Maybe you need to run after your toddler and you're thinking, I just can't do that. Like when I say run, I mean like the sprint where they just go and you have to sprint. Yeah, this is going to help with those kind of movements. You need to get up quickly, things like that. You're like, all those power movements is going to really help. And so we're going to be doing some of them. I think it's mostly standing. I am not 100% sure. I don't remember what I wrote down for it, but I think it's mostly standing. So make sure to join us. It'll be really good. I enjoy plyos, so if nobody else does, at least I do. They are going to be a little bit harsher on things like your knees, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do them. If you do find them to be challenging, maybe start off slightly smaller range of motion, bigger breaks, things like that. But build it up because what muscles you don't work, you won't strengthen. You won't get the benefits of working them out. And then they'll just deteriorate and be worse. So make sure to work them. And I'll see you there. And God bless you all. Make sure to read that Rhapsody today. God bless you. Love you.